This story is titled, "She Used My Luxury Resort Booking for Trip with Other Men. So I instantly canceled all hotel reservation and payments. She's now begging for forgiveness and financial help." Hey everyone, I'm Marcus, 32 years old, and until recently I thought I had everything figured out. I've been dating Olivia, 27, for the past 3 years, and I've always prided myself on giving 110% in everything I care about, especially my relationship with her. Her birthday and our anniversary fall within a week of each other, so this year I wanted to do something truly spectacular, something she would never forget. I spent months meticulously planning a 5-day trip to San Diego. This wasn't going to be just any basic vacation. I booked the most expensive suite in the resort, planned all kinds of activities, and even arranged a private sunset dinner on the beach. I had something extra special planned too. I was going to propose. I'd been saving up for nearly a year to buy the perfect ring. Nothing flashy, just elegant and classic, exactly her style. I could already picture the whole scene in my head. Walking along the shore at sunset, her saying yes, me being the happiest guy alive. It felt like perfect timing since we'd been talking more about our future lately, and I really wanted to take that next step with her. When I first told Olivia about the trip, she seemed super excited. She kept talking about how amazing San Diego would be and went on about filling her Instagram with beach pics, food pics, and sunset pics. Honestly, it was a bit annoying that she seemed to care more about Instagram than the actual experience, but that's just how she is. She loves showing everything online. I brushed it off as Olivia being Olivia. As the trip got closer, I started to notice her excitement fading. I didn't think much of it at first. Everyone has off days, right? But then it became a pattern. She would take forever to respond to my texts, barely answer my calls, and whenever I brought up the trip, she would just give vague answers like, "Yeah, it'll be fun," or "Can't wait," but without any real enthusiasm. I tried to be understanding. She had mentioned work had been rough lately, so I figured that might be bringing her down. Still, I couldn't shake this weird feeling that something was definitely off. When I asked if something was bothering her about the trip, she kept shrugging it off, saying things like, "No, everything's fine, you're overthinking," and changing the subject every time. I also noticed she was on her phone way more than usual, which is saying something because Olivia is always glued to her phone. But now she was being super secretive about it. If I walked into the room, she would quickly lock the screen or flip the phone face down. I tried joking about it once, saying, "What? Are you planning a surprise for me?" She laughed awkwardly and said something vague. I tried not to dwell on it, but my gut feeling wouldn't go away. Maybe it was paranoia. Or maybe it was all these little things adding up. The weird vibe, her lack of enthusiasm. Plus, she was spending more time with her best friend Sophia lately. Normally, I wouldn't care. They've been friends forever. But I noticed something strange. Sophia always seemed to show up whenever Olivia canceled plans with me. One night, about a week before the trip, Olivia said she had to work late. This wasn't unusual. She's a graphic designer and sometimes takes freelance projects. Later that night, I checked Instagram and saw Sophia's story. They were out having dinner together. I didn't say anything because I didn't want to seem controlling, but I couldn't help wondering, why lie about it? If she wanted to hang out with Sophia, she could have just told me. The night before our trip, I packed my bags and double-checked everything: tickets, itinerary, and of course, the ring. I was trying to stay optimistic despite the doubt lingering in my mind. Around 10 p.m., Olivia texted saying she was super tired and going to bed early to be ready for our morning flight. I told her to sleep well and that I'd pick her up at 9 a.m. sharp. Her reply was just a thumbs-up emoji. Not exactly the warm response I was hoping for, but I let it slide anyway. I went to bed that night, unable to shake this feeling that something was about to go wrong. I kept telling myself I was overthinking again. After all, this trip was going to be perfect. How could it not be? Little did I know, the next 24 hours would change everything. How I see Olivia, our relationship, and even myself. The morning of the trip started like any other. I woke up early and double-checked my bag again, mentally running through everything I needed. That's when it hit me. My passport wasn't in my bag. I couldn't believe I'd forgotten something so basic, but it wasn't a big deal. I remembered leaving it in my office drawer when I used it for some work paperwork a few weeks back. I figured I'd swing by the office, grab the passport, and still make it to Olivia's place with plenty of time. I sent her a quick text letting her know I'd be there around 9:30 a.m. instead. She didn't reply, but I didn't think much of it at the time. The office was unusually quiet that morning. As I walked toward my desk, I saw my assistant Kate sorting through files. "Morning, what are you doing here? Still not ready?" she asked, looking surprised to see me. I told her I was just grabbing my passport, but before I could finish, she cut me off. "Oh, by the way, your meeting with Pacific Corp is in 10 minutes. Are you prepped for it?" she asked. I stopped in my tracks, completely confused. "What meeting?" I asked. Kate tilted her head and frowned. "The one with Pacific Corp. It's been on your calendar all week. You confirmed it a few days ago." I pulled out my phone and checked my calendar. Sure enough, there it was, blocked off as a meeting that I had supposedly agreed to. But I hadn't confirmed anything. My stomach started to turn as I scrolled through the email chain, trying to figure out what was going on. That's when I saw it. A meeting invite sent earlier in the week, but it wasn't me who replied. Someone else had used my email to confirm the meeting. The reply read, "Marcus will be there. Sounds great." And that someone was Olivia. At first, I just stood there staring at my phone like it was going to give me an answer. Why would Olivia do this? Did she mess with my calendar by accident, or was this deliberate? I wanted to think there was some logical explanation, but deep down, I already knew the truth. Olivia had set me up. This wasn't just bad timing. She knew I wouldn't skip a meeting once it was on the calendar. The realization hit me like a ton of bricks. She had planned this. Meanwhile, the clock was ticking. I didn't have time to sort out my emotions. Kate told me the Pacific Corp team was already in the conference room, waiting to discuss a potential deal. Skipping the meeting wasn't an option, not without damaging my reputation and possibly the company's relationship with a big client. I did what I had to do. I locked my emotions away, put on my professional face, and walked into the conference room like nothing was wrong. But the whole time, my head was spinning. I couldn't stop replaying the past few weeks in my mind. Olivia acting strange, avoiding trip conversations, canceling plans, spending more time with Sophia. I had written it off as stress or work stuff, but now it all felt calculated. As the meeting dragged on, I kept checking my phone, giving Olivia the benefit of the doubt. Maybe she'd text with an explanation. But there was nothing. When the meeting finally ended, I rushed out of the room back to my desk. My first instinct was to call her, but before I could, something told me to check her Instagram. It felt ridiculous at first. Why would her Instagram have anything to do with this? I opened the app and checked her stories, and my heart sank. There she was, at the resort I booked for us, lounging by the pool with Sophia, laughing and looking like she didn't have a care in the world. I kept watching her stories, scrolling through them one by one. I saw our suite, the one I booked, the same one I'd imagined us staying in, celebrating her birthday and our anniversary. But she wasn't alone. Sophia was there, of course, but also a few guys I didn't recognize. They were all smiling, laughing, and posing for the camera like they were having the time of their lives. I tried calling her again. Straight to voicemail. I texted her instead. "What the hell is going on? Why are you at the resort without me?" No response. I couldn't believe it. She had used my reservation, my money, to go on this trip without me. Not just without me, but with a group of people I didn't even know. I stared at her stories for what felt like forever, trying to make sense of what I was seeing. The Olivia in those videos wasn't the person I thought I knew. Wasn't the person I'd spent 3 years with planning a future together. I felt sick. After piecing everything together, I couldn't hold back anymore. I called Olivia over and over again, each ring making me angrier. She wasn't answering, and honestly, I wasn't surprised. It felt like she was purposely dodging me, as if ignoring me would make this whole thing go away. But this morning, after about a dozen calls, she finally picked up. I didn't even let her start. "What the hell is going on, Olivia?" I demanded, my voice shaking with a mix of anger and disbelief. "You sabotaged my morning so you could steal the trip?" Her response was completely casual. "Marcus, I needed this trip to clear my head," she said. "You're always so uptight and focused on your plans. I just wanted to have fun for once." Clear her head? Fun? My mind was racing. I couldn't believe what I was hearing. I couldn't contain my anger anymore. "Fun? Olivia, I planned this for us," I said. "This wasn't some random vacation. It was our anniversary and your birthday. I was going to propose." I let it all out. At this point, what was the use of holding back? Then she said words that will stick with me forever. "Well, maybe it's good you didn't. Honestly, you're kind of boring sometimes." Boring? Everything I thought I knew about our relationship felt like a lie. I had spent months planning this trip, not just for her, but for us. I had poured my time, my effort, and my money into making this perfect, and she had the audacity to throw it back in my face. That was it? I was done. All right, Olivia, I said, keeping my voice as calm as possible. If you think I'm so boring, then you don't need my plans, my money, or my help. Enjoy the trip. You're on your own now. Before she could respond, I hung up. My hands were shaking as I dialed the resort. I got through to a receptionist and explained everything. How my girlfriend had checked in without me, how she wasn't authorized to use the reservation, how she wasn't supposed to be there alone. The receptionist was incredibly understanding and said she'd do everything she could to help. The first thing I asked was to cancel the remaining days of the stay. She informed me that because Olivia had already checked in, I couldn't get a full refund, but I could get back most of the money for the unused nights. I agreed immediately. Losing a little money was worth knowing she wouldn't get to enjoy the rest of the stolen vacation. Next, I canceled all the activities I'd booked. The private dinner, the snorkeling trip, even the sunset sail planned for the proposal. Each cancellation felt like taking back control. Finally, I asked about the return flights. Since I had booked everything through the same travel agency, I was able to cancel her ticket too. That one felt especially good. A few hours later, my phone started blowing up again. Olivia had finally noticed what I'd done. Her messages started with anger. "You're such a petty jerk, and I can't believe you'd ruin my vacation like this." Then they turned to guilt tripping. "Wow, I didn't think you were this immature, and you really need to grow up." Finally, she started begging. "Marcus, please. I made a mistake. Just rebook the flight. We can talk about this when I get home." I ignored every single message. She called too, but I didn't pick up. I couldn't pick up. I was too angry, too disgusted to hear her voice again. Olivia didn't just betray me. She planned this betrayal. She went behind my back, ruined my schedule, lied to me, all so she could enjoy a luxury trip on my dime with her friend and some random guys. I wasn't just angry at her. I was angry at myself for not seeing it sooner. Later, I decided to block her. I didn't want to hear her excuses, her apologies, or her insults. I needed to focus on myself and figure out where to go from here. But before I did, I wrote her one final text. "You wanted to clear your head and have fun. Go ahead. But don't expect me to clean up the mess you made. Find your own way home." Then I hit block. As I'm writing this, Olivia is still trying to contact me through every possible channel. Using her friends' phones, emailing me, even messaging me on apps I forgot I had. Her messages are a mix of anger and desperation. One minute, she's calling me a child for canceling everything. The next, she's begging me to forgive her. I want to update you all on how things have escalated. First, I want to say thanks for all the advice and support you've given me. A lot of you said I should tell Olivia's parents what happened. I wasn't sure at first, but after thinking about it, I realized they deserved to know the truth, especially since she'd probably reach out to them for help. I wanted to make sure they knew everything. Olivia's parents, the Wilsons, have always been good to me. Her mom would call me her future son-in-law and even joked about saving a spot for me in the family photo album. Her dad was more reserved, but we bonded over sports and DIY projects whenever we visited. They genuinely seemed to like me, and I liked them too. I figured, why not let them know what their daughter had been up to? So I called her mom first. "Hi, Mrs. Wilson," I said, trying to keep my tone calm and respectful. "Hope I'm not catching you at a bad time." She immediately knew something was up. "Marcus, is everything okay? You sound serious." So I told her everything. I didn't hold back. I made sure to emphasize how calculated Olivia's actions were. Her mom was quiet at first, then let out this deep sigh. "Marcus, I'm so sorry," she said. "I had no idea." Turns out Olivia had lied to them too. She told her parents I couldn't go on the trip because of work issues and said she didn't want the tickets to go to waste. She painted herself as the victim of my supposed workaholism and claimed she was using the trip to clear her head after being so neglected by me. Hearing that pissed me off even more. Not only did she betray me, but she tried to make herself look like the victim in front of her own family. That's when it hit me. Olivia wasn't just lying to me. She was lying to everyone. She didn't just manipulate my plans, she kept her own family in the dark too. Her mom asked what I planned to do next. I told her the truth. I had already canceled everything. The room, the activities, even her flight back. She was on her own now. Mrs. Wilson was quiet for a moment before responding. "Honestly, Marcus, I don't blame you," she said. "She needs to grow up and deal with the mess she made." Her dad got on the phone next. Mr. Wilson isn't the warm, chatty type like his wife. He's more of a straight shooter. When I told him what Olivia did, his first words hit hard. That's ridiculous, he said. She's 27, not 17. She knows better. He continued, well, Marcus, I can tell you this. We're not bailing her out. She made this mess. She can clean it up herself. Hearing that was so satisfying. It felt like validation, not just for what I'd been through, but for the decision I made to cut her off. Later that day, Olivia must have realized her parents weren't coming to her rescue. Messages started pouring in again. At first, she was still trying to play the victim. Why are you telling my parents? That's so immature, Marcus. This is between us. But then reality hit her. Her parents weren't going to send money for a flight home. Her tone shifted completely. Marcus, please, she wrote. I didn't mean for it to go this far. I just needed some space to figure things out. And, Marcus, can we talk? I made a mistake and I need your help. I'm sorry, okay? Just call me back so we can fix this. Fix this? I wasn't the one who broke anything. She was the one who lied, schemed, and betrayed me. At one point, she tried guilt-tripping me. You're really going to leave me stranded here? After 3 years together? That's so cold. Cold? Coming from the woman who had no problem sabotaging me and using my money to party with other guys? The audacity was unreal. I didn't respond to any of it. Not the guilt-tripping, not the fake apologies, not the pathetic attempts to shift the blame onto me. Instead, I blocked her number. I wish I could say that was the end of it, but Olivia found other ways to reach me. She started emailing me, messaging me on social media, and even tried using Sophia's phone to call me. Speaking of Sophia, I'm not sure what her deal is. Part of me wants to believe she didn't know the full story, but at the same time, she had to know something was off. Either way, I'm not interested in hearing her excuses. As of now, Olivia is still stuck at the resort. Her parents refuse to send any money. Mrs. Wilson told me that Olivia doesn't have enough in her own account to book a flight back. I guess she spent most of it trying to keep up appearances while partying with her friends and those random guys. From what I've heard, thanks to mutual friends who couldn't resist spilling details, Olivia spent a couple of days scrambling, trying to figure out how to get back. She tried reaching out to Sophia for help, but even Sophia bailed on her at the last minute. Turns out Sophia isn't as loyal as Olivia thought. She went back home early without even telling Olivia. Eventually, Olivia managed to borrow money from one of her friends who felt bad for her, but it didn't come without strings attached. Her friend made her pay back every cent within a week of getting home, which put Olivia in an even worse spot financially. She's been pretty quiet on social media ever since. Anyway, after Olivia managed to slink back into town, I still felt like there was more to the story. Something about the guys in her Instagram stories kept bugging me. I decided to dig a little deeper, and that's when I came across Nathan. He was one of the guys at the resort, but I didn't recognize him as just some random dude. I knew I'd seen him somewhere before. Then it hit me. He was her supervisor at work. His Instagram account was public, so I started scrolling. The pieces started falling into place. Nathan had lots of pictures with Olivia, some from work events that could have been innocent enough, but others not so much. There were pictures of them out for dinner, hiking together, even at a rooftop bar. The captions weren't particularly romantic, but they didn't need to be. The body language said it all. Then I found a photo of Nathan, Olivia, and Sophia at a fancy restaurant posted on the same night Sophia had put up a story saying, Girls' Night. Remember that night I mentioned earlier? When Olivia lied about working late, and Sophia posted a dinner story? Turns out Nathan was there too. It was like every lie Olivia told me was unraveling in real time. I couldn't let it go. I decided to message Nathan directly, keeping it short and to the point. Hey Nathan, I wrote. I think we need to talk. Looks like we've both been seeing the same girl. To his credit, Nathan responded right away. At first he seemed confused, but once I sent him screenshots of my texts with Olivia and pictures of us together, his tone changed fast. He called me that same day, and we had a long conversation. Turns out Nathan had no idea Olivia was in a relationship. She told him she was single and wanted to take things slow because she was focusing on her career. Nathan admitted he'd been interested in her for a while, but hadn't made a move because, as her supervisor, he didn't want to cross professional boundaries. Olivia, however, had been doing everything to blur those lines. Nathan shared some eye-opening details. He said Olivia kept inviting him out for work, brainstorming sessions, conveniently scheduling them at nice restaurants or coffee shops instead of the office. She'd casually drop hints about how hard it was to find someone who understood her and how much she admired his work ethic. One time, she even asked him to drive her home after a team event because she'd accidentally left her car at home. She spent the entire drive talking about how she felt stuck in her personal life and needed a change. Looking back, Nathan said he always felt like Olivia was pushing boundaries, but he didn't think much of it at the time. He just let it happen until he found himself dating her. He wasn't planning on going to San Diego with them, but she convinced him, saying it would cause no harm since they'd be in a group. No whispers about the two of them specifically. Now he realizes she was grooming him as a backup plan, or maybe her main plan, depending on how things went with me. As Nathan and I compared notes, everything started making sense. The working late nights? She was probably with Nathan. The weekend she said she was too tired to hang out? That was the same weekend Nathan posted a picture of her and Sophia at brunch. The Vegas trip? Nathan had invited her as part of a company retreat, but Olivia made it seem like she was visiting her parents. Even Sophia was in on it. Every time Olivia needed a cover story, Sophia was there to back her up. It's like they had this whole scheme planned out, seeing me as the idiot boyfriend who believed every word. Nathan was just as furious as I was. He said he felt betrayed and embarrassed, not just as her supervisor, but as someone who thought Olivia was genuinely interested in him. He even apologized to me, which was surprising but appreciated. We ended the call agreeing that Olivia needed to face the consequences of her lies. Nathan said he'd figure out how to handle things at work, but he also wanted to confront her about everything. I told him I was all in. Whatever it takes to make sure she can't keep doing this to people. Since that call, Nathan and I have been in touch, sharing more details and planning our next steps. Olivia has no idea Nathan and I are talking. Honestly, I'm looking forward to seeing her reaction when the truth comes out. As for Sophia, I'm done with her too. She's just as guilty in all of this, and I have no interest in hearing her excuses. Olivia, of course, is still trying to reach me. She sends emails, messages from random numbers, and even tries leaving voicemails. Her latest excuse? Marcus, I didn't mean for this to happen. Please, can we just talk? No, Olivia, we can't. I'm back with a final update to this insane mess, and hopefully, it's the most satisfying yet. After everything Olivia did, the lies, the manipulation, the double life, it was time for some real accountability. I teamed up with Nathan, her supervisor and secret side guy, to expose her for what she truly is. It worked better than I could have hoped. Nathan and I planned our next move carefully. We didn't want to come across as vindictive or unhinged. We decided the best way to confront Olivia was to hit her with the truth all at once. Nathan agreed to set up a meeting with her under the guise of discussing work-related matters, while I would join the call as a surprise guest. When the meeting started, Olivia looked completely caught off guard. She stammered something like, "What's he doing here?" But before she could say anything else, Nathan and I laid everything out. We showed screenshots of our texts, pictures of us together, even old anniversary posts to prove we were in a long-term relationship. Nathan shared his side of the story, how she'd been pursuing him at work, inviting him out under the guise of brainstorming sessions, lying about being single. We both confronted her about the lies she told to cover her tracks, including how she used Sophia to help scheme. At first, Olivia tried to deny everything, kept saying, "This is a misunderstanding," and "You're blowing things out of proportion." But as we continued showing more evidence, she broke down. "I didn't mean for it to happen like this," she cried. "I just felt stuck. I didn't know what to do." I wasn't having it. "Stuck? You weren't stuck, Olivia," I said. "You were juggling two people who trusted you while lying to everyone around you. That's not being stuck. It's being selfish." Nathan was just as blunt. "Do you realize how many boundaries you crossed?" he asked. "You didn't just lie to me. You jeopardized my reputation at work. You made me look like a fool." Olivia had no response. She just sat there crying, mumbling apologies, but by that point, neither of us cared. After the confrontation, Nathan took the matter to HR. He explained how Olivia had been pursuing him inappropriately, manipulating their professional relationship. To make things worse for her, other coworkers started coming forward with their own stories about Olivia's behavior. Apparently, Olivia wasn't exactly popular at work. She had a reputation for being fake and manipulative, but most people just stayed quiet to avoid drama. Once Nathan filed the report, though, it opened the floodgates. Within a week, Olivia was let go. The official reason was violation of workplace policies. She tried to fight it, but the evidence against her was overwhelming. Getting fired was just the beginning of Olivia's downfall. Word spread quickly about what she'd done. Her friends started cutting ties with her one by one. Sophia, her so-called best friend, dropped her like a bad habit. From what I've heard, Sophia was more worried about protecting her own reputation than sticking by Olivia. Olivia's parents weren't any more sympathetic. After I told them everything and kept them updated later as well, they started seeing her true colors. Her mom called me a few days ago to apologize again for Olivia's behavior. "I don't know where we went wrong with her," she said, sounding genuinely distressed. Even her dad, who rarely gets involved in personal drama, told Olivia she needed to fix her life and stop blaming other people for her mistakes. Olivia is completely isolated now. Her coworkers, or now ex-coworkers, don't want anything to do with her. Her friends have abandoned her. Her parents are fed up with her nonsense. As for me, I feel like a weight has been lifted off my shoulders. For 3 years, I thought I was building a future with someone who loved and respected me. Now I see how wrong I was. But instead of feeling bitter, I feel free. I booked a solo trip to San Diego. Yes, the trip I should have been taking with Olivia. And it was everything I needed. Surfing, hiking, just enjoying my own company. It made me realize how much I'd been neglecting myself while trying to please someone who didn't deserve it. Nathan and I have stayed in touch. He's doing fine, though he admitted it's been awkward dealing with the fallout at work. He told me he's using this experience as a reminder to keep stricter boundaries in the future. Honestly, I respect the guy. He was just as much a victim of Olivia's manipulation as I was. Even after everything, Olivia hasn't stopped trying to contact me. She's been emailing me, messaging me from random accounts, and even showed up at my apartment once. When I saw her at my door, I didn't even let her in. I stepped outside and told her to leave. She started crying, saying she was sorry for everything, that she just wanted to talk. "Olivia, I don't think you understand," I said. "There's nothing left to talk about. You lied, you cheated, and you manipulated everyone around you. I don't care what your excuses are. You made your choices. Now you have to live with the consequences." She begged me to forgive her, saying she'd change, make things right. But I wasn't buying it. "This isn't about forgiveness, Olivia," I told her. "It's about respect. And you've lost all of mine." With that, I walked back inside and shut the door. Thanks to everyone who followed this journey and offered advice and support. It's been quite a mess, but I'm glad I finally saw Olivia for who she really is. Here's to new beginnings.